I wanted to touch on a little bit of stuff from yesterday, because I finally was open about what happened with Crime Boss. And of course, you know, the Twitter freaks are kicked up into a frenzy. So I was gonna make this Twitter post last night, but I was like, you know, maybe I should sleep on it. Maybe I should figure out how to word it better. You know, sometimes I'm not the best at wording things, chat. You guys know I'm kind of retarded. So I slept on it. I fucking worded stuff better today. I feel like I worded stuff better today. And I'm gonna fucking just post this now and read it on stream. We're gonna fucking go. The Crime Boss post has gotten a lot of attention, and this, like, weird seething Twitter freak has me blocked because of course they do. So I couldn't, like, actually quote retweet them, so I had to just, like, put a link to their tweet and a screenshot. Imagine that. Imagine that. Fucking the usual suspects at it again. And they said, cancel culture has eroded in meaning. Instead of being the attempt to deplatform a creator or significantly harm their public image, often unjustly, it is now somehow means to a single company choosing not to associate their brand with you after hearing your insane beliefs. And this made me see fucking red. Like, I've been through some shit since March when this whole, like, cancel campaign against me kicked off. And seeing people as, like, vile as this person, as disgusting as this person, as filled with dishonesty as this person, these are the people that make me feel genuine hate. Because, like, you can't be this stupid, so this has to be malicious. This has to be a malicious liar spreading malicious things because they fucking get off. They're over there jerking their dick and coming, seeing someone's life being ruined, and it makes them upset when they fight back. These people are, like, the most worthless people I could ever think of. I would rather give money to a murderers give send go campaign than do anything that supports these kind of people that have this train of thought. Being called a villain feels like a badge of honor at this point. You're so confused by that post, like you had to read it 3 times and you still don't understand it. Because they're moral grandstanding on nothing, and they're using fucking Darvo abuse tactics to make you feel like you did something wrong. It's the same shit with Offkai all over again, where I stood up for myself, with Offkai practicing cancel culture, with Offkai deciding, you make some edgy jokes, so people feel unsafe with your virtual appearance on a panel that has nothing to do with politics. By the way, we're gonna have all of these identity politics panels because we're not apolitical. We're just playing to the correct politics. And I hate scumfucks that do that. You cannot like what I say. You cannot like the jokes I make. You cannot like the opinions I have. But to try and unperson me, to try and ruin my life using people who have been harassing me and taking things out of context and trying to paint me as something that I am not. No, you are the shitty person. You are the brown shirt who goes around censoring people. My response to this hideous fucking creature disguised as a human being: a month into a life ruination campaign started by people who hate me, and during a pre-planned vacation where communication and access to my home and resources were minimal, in-game studios, the developers of Crime Boss Rock A City, a game I loved and heavily promoted since its release in 2023, dropped their relationship with me. They were swayed by anonymous posts, Reddit users who admit to not watching me, people who lie by omission, and people who strawman all of my stances. And to cap it off, a muckraker from a dying news outlet with an axe to grind decided to compile all of it into an article with no more integrity than the Tumblr blog they no doubt had. This company is not experiencing cancel culture. My audience were paying customers who are voting with their voice and their wallet after a company makes an astronomically poor decision they disagree with. These are not review bombs. These are not people who don't own the game brigading. In-game are experiencing what happens when you capitulate to cancel culture. These two things are not the same. It's incredibly obvious, and everyone knows it. You people held this power to ruin others reputationally and financially for years, and we're now standing up for ourselves. Fuck you, fuck cancel culture, and fuck the Darvo that happens when anyone decides to defend themselves. You reap what you sow. The guy's apparently an editor for Pippa. That's FaZe's problem, that's not my problem. Is he actually? Hold on. Let me fucking pull up his account. What's his @? Oh, that's interesting. Editing clients, Idle Corp, Pippa, Spectre Elite EN, Specialite Elite EN. That's interesting. Idle Corp doesn't exist anymore, right? Like they got bought by Brave, is what I thought, like months ago, like ages ago. Oh yeah, it has me blocked. Interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. Whoops. Whoops. Wow, that's weird. Wow. Well, that's strange. So the Rocky City Steam forums have all of these things. Like now the Twitter freaks are brigading them. So people who don't buy the game are now brigading the post because they're mad that we're defending ourselves and you guys are voting with your wallets and you're downvoting. Some of these freaks think that like you just bought the game to leave a bad review. But if anyone looks at all of the changed from positive to negative reviews, almost everyone in my audience has a minimum of 10 hours. Some of them have hundreds of hours. These are like core audience of this game. And these people just do not fucking realize it. It's, Jesus. Wow. You know, they dropped me after a month-long harassment campaign 2 days after a Vice article happened to drop and used the tweets in the Vice article as the reason that they're dropping me, but, you know, it's definitely not the Vice article. It's definitely not the level of harassment that's been happening against me. You can't vote with your wallet. You bought it ages ago. I mean, you can still change your review. I know some of the console friends were just like, yeah, I can't refund it, which is weird. I didn't know that the like refund shit was so strict on consoles. That's really strange. But they were like, yeah, we're changing our reviews at least to 1 star. Missed my crazy ass. Hello, welcome back. Bought the keys via my link a while back. Says received product for free in the review. It's a bit annoying. That is, you know, that is kind of annoying, but I mean, receive product for free. You can literally put in there, I received this product from Kirsche via a key, and now they've done this, you know? That I'm going to buy because of dropping Kirsche audience probably aren't going to. Yeah. I hope Kirsche sees this, bros. Well, I do, because I care about my audience, and I cared about this fucking game for 2 years while everyone else in the content creator sphere was shitting on it. So, you know. I hope your Foxu queen that make goon tributes to every night sees your hard work against the stifling of right-wing voices. Well, at least he comes out and admits it. At least he comes out and admits that he wants to stifle the voices of people who are to the right of fucking Mao, dude. Holy shit. And there's some people who are unable to perceive breakfast, who are just like, but it shouldn't matter that they dropped Kirsche. The game was fun before. The game should still be fun now, right? Like, you can still have fun with it. This shouldn't matter. This doesn't take into account how good the game is or not. Yeah, you know, I even said yesterday that I like the game. Right? Like, I'm not shitting on the state of the game, but when the developers show that they are spineless and will capitulate to people who make shit up in order to ruin someone's life, yeah, that's a moralistic stance for us who spend money on this game, and us who promote this game, and us who pay this game to not want to play it. Like, that's just fucking common sense, brother. That's just common sense. Please perceive breakfast, I fucking beg of you. Let me read Jim Bro's post here. Very disappointing in Crime Boss for abandoning their biggest supporter from since the beta. She promoted you to thousands of people without pay, and this is how you treat your biggest fan and reason you're profitable. All over a radical left misinformation hate campaign against a woman. I hope it's worth it. RIP. So this guy was cordial. This guy was professional in expressing his disappointment. 140 awards, 116 comments. And this thing right here, from the actual people harassing me, 37 awards, 112 comments, still here, not deleted. Not deleted. Not deleted. The devs have made their stance clear. This is very obvious to me, unfortunately. somebody responded, "How exactly were you involved with this game?" I said I was partnered with them directly for over a year, providing constant marketing via my large platform. Did testing and bug reporting for them on the game both on and off my stream, as well as test out platforms for people they wish to partner with in the future. Dealing with Xsola as a means to provide revenue split with creators was probably the worst one. I also used my contacts to help them hire new devs when they needed certain positions filled. I had contacted Kerbifer and several other voice actors because they needed more voice actors since they were using people in-house. And I also contacted some of my Gameforge contacts and asked them if they knew anyone who was looking for work on game development for like 3D modeling and whatnot, because they needed positions filled. So I was using my contacts to try and help them fill positions. Again, I really wanted this game to succeed. I really loved this game. I was also going to be put in the game as a playable character. I don't think I ever said that out loud to you guys, because it was hinted at a few times, but the reason that I like fast-tracked my ref sheet for my crime boss outfit was because this was something we had been discussing. This was something we had been discussing. Yeah, I hinted at it. I hinted at it a lot, but I never said it outright. You know, I know not to release the chickens that early. And they had offered multiple times, like, hey, you know, until we can get that done, until we have 3D modelers, we can, like, rename one of the characters in the game to you. And I was like, you know, I appreciate the offer. I really like that. You know, it would be cool to have, you know, one of the already set up models named after me. But I would rather wait. I would rather just wait until you guys have the 3D modelers, and then we can work on that. I'll get the voice acting lines done for you. Like, it'll be great. It'll be great. So that was also something that was going to happen. I was intrinsically involved in the success of this game. And these people seething on Twitter do not seem to understand that. God damn it, Crime Boss Dev, what the fuck? Oh my god.
To give in to cancel culture and drop their partnership with Kirsche as the result of a number of articles written about her that basically paint her in an inaccurate light, that also were written by a person who has written multiple fan fictions about trans people having non-consensual sex with cis women. So this is, they were verifiably false. Yes, right. So here's Kirsche. She's a VTuber. She's the same one the other day that was being discussed. I don't know if any of these have it come up here. She's this one here, this one, right? And anyway,
such a cute couple. Fuck you, chat.
English, yes. And so they decided to drop their partnership with Kirsche as a result of these articles. And you can see very clearly this is not going well for them. And if you look at, this is their most recent post, and this is, again, I'm really, really glad. Rip your game. There's another one. And then this is the person, by the way.
In the future, there are...
Oh no, he's gonna play it!
A number of institutions
that
emerge.
No.
You don't even have to worry about whether you're going to be able to breed that good fucking macaroni in a pot.
Spicy cat.
That's not a tall ask. And I think that's the future for all of us, is just destroying that pussy wherever you go, whenever you go.
So
but it's not a fetish, you guys.
Freak has been let on the loose, and they're writing articles trying to get people canceled, and unfortunately, one of them worked. And so, isn't this, what do you call it? Isn't this person trained to be a trans woman? Don't want to go through surgery, saying this as well? Isn't this a person claiming most trans women haven't or don't want to go through surgery by saying this as well? I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea. I mean, like, the layers of mental illness for this, I don't know if you can unravel them, right? You'd need to have, like, a supercomputer to do that.
Yeah, and there's no degree on Earth that can handle this.
On fire. This person isn't well. Yes, these are mentally ill freaks, okay? And so I just wanted to make sure that we understand the person that we're dealing with here.
Oh no!
And this person obviously
sorry, I have to mute that.
An article that they wrote recently.
In the future.
Thank you for the 100 gift subs. I'll thank you again after, but thank you. I'm sorry I had to mute.
We don't need to hear it again, right? Do we? I don't think so.
Actual Giga Chad, right?
So, this is the person that is doing this. Welcome to being on my blacklist. So basically, they have dropped their sponsorship of Kirsche as a response to this freak, this absolute mental illness. You should be in a mental institution, fucking getting medicated in some way that keeps the rest of public safe from your weird rape fantasies for women.
Based?
Really, and that's honestly the way I feel about it.
Yes,
it's fucking disgusting.
true.
And anyway, doing this, you should be in one of these facilities, but unfortunately you're out in the wild writing articles about people, defaming them, lying about them, misrepresenting them, and saying that VTubing has a bigotry problem while you're writing fan fiction about the mass rape of women. And so this is what's happening. I'm literally not kidding. And you guys you just listen to it, you see it, and there it is. And so the game that Kirsche promoted a lot, which was Crime Boss Rocky City, has decided to capitulate. They have decided to give in to cancel culture. They have decided to listen to these articles.
And to be fair, they did it 2 days after that first article dropped. I just didn't say anything about it until Asmon encouraged me.
It's highly disappointing that you dropped Kirsche over crazy internet psychos lying to her, especially when she was the primary driver for sales of your game, and she didn't even ask you for money. I hope you reconsider. I don't think reconsidering is even an option. Oh. So this is a little story, a little chain of events of how this has happened. Crime Boss game was literally a what game? Kirsche tried the game and loved it and talked about it and streamed at frequency. Gained a strong cult following success, a year largely even solely because of Kirsche. Devs were grateful and gave her a sponsorship. Crime Boss devs have apparently dropped her because of a Vice hit piece from a journalist who was caught on audio seemingly fantasizing about struggle cuddling women, and a V-tweeter equivalent of a lolcow who victim blames the victims of workplace abuse. As an example, Doki Bird. She was the one that worked at Nija Sanji, and then she was removed. Sanji. And then what else can you say about Crime Boss, honestly? And studying your close to 2 years of interaction with this VTuber who loved your game, you decided to take a smear campaign made by dubious strangers seriously. So this has obviously gone very badly for them. What are those words? You don't want to know. And so big fucking mistake. Obviously, a lot of people are talking about it here. And you've got, again, people uninstalling the game, refunding the game, massively shitting on it. And also, Kirsche has received, as no surprise, a tremendous amount of support because of this. Because I think, in general, people are tired of a mentally ill, deranged freak trying to dictate what normal people do.
So nice of Kirsche to advertise indie streamer Zach Roy.
Here, let's go ahead and take a look at the reviews, and we'll see how the reviews are doing for this game.
Oh, I hope he reads the fucking playtime too.
Here, by the way, let's look at these Steam discussions for the page. Since they deleted this post, good on the devs, cutting ties, wacko right wing. I hope Kirsche sees this. In-game studios, bro up, enjoy your momentary victory, it won't last. She supported you so hard and you backstabbed her. Kirsche, cancel culture. And everybody is negative about this game.
Except for that base devs one.
Shitting on this. They're deleting threads. Of course they're deleting threads. That's why I'm talking about it myself, because they can't delete my thread, which will probably be a video. And I've said before that
I love
the
my
best way
husbando.
to respond to cancel. Stop calling trans people mentally ill.
Wish you success. Thank you guys. We stand with Kirsche. I'm assuming you guys are coming over from his stream. Thank you. Thank you.
Non-consensually. This doesn't have anything to do with this person being trans. If they were
straight,
I would say they were mentally ill. If they were gay, I would say they were mentally ill.
100% agreed.
Being trans does not give you a shield from being called a mentally ill fucking freak. That doesn't mean that they're mentally ill fucking freaks because they're trans.
And you can't keep using an identity as a shield from criticism.
Fucking freak. I'm not going to play your games. I'm not going to go and
Oh,
speak
Bigglesworth, thank you for the 10 gift subs to small streamer Zach Roar.
Language about it because it could be perceived as transphobic. No, we're going to call it exactly what it is, and that's exactly what more people need to do. This is disgusting. It should not be accepted by anybody. And these weird fucking appeals to identity politics, I'm sorry, it's not 2020 anymore. Nobody's buying it. Nobody wants to hear it. And I think the best way to respond to cancel culture is by making it even worse for the people that give into it.
100%.
And that's why I wanted to talk about this. I wanted to talk about another company that has given in to the lies of, again, a person that says stuff like this. I'm not even going to play it again. But
I'm glad he played it once.
Let's take a look at some of the reviews here. All negative, Everybody's negative. Some of these are positive as well, obviously, of course. For $2, it's no payday. Let's take a look at a lot of the recent reviews. Where is it? Where's recent reviews?
You gotta click on the little graph thingy.
I'm not show graph.
Mr. President, another plane has hit the towers.
Jesus. Jesus, bro. Oh my God. Well, that's what you get. That's what you fucking get. I am so happy to see people finally pushing back on this.
Yes.
And I hope they don't stop. I do. I hope they don't stop. I don't know whether this game is good or not, but I think that there needs to be, and this is the way
It is
that
a good
you fight
game, and that's what makes
against
it
this
all the
type of
more
cancel
fucking
culture,
depressing, man.
is that you make the consequences for giving into it worse than not giving into it. That's it. You reap what you sow, you do. And it looks like this game is getting massively review bombed. People are going to hate this game.
It's not even
basically
review bombed. These
forever.
are people who
They're
have
never going
played
to be able
like
to get out
tens,
from
if not
under this,
hundreds of hours,
and it will
changing their
probably kill
reviews
the
to
studio.
negative.
In the long term, it will kill the studio. Because you will have these people that will, in 10 years, they will be bringing this up and shitting on any new game that they get. And you know what I think? Good. Mm-hmm. You get what you fucking deserve.
You get what you fucking deserve!
Yep. Bridge builder.
That's
there
my tweet.
You go.
That's my tweet earlier.
And so, yeah, eventually I'm forced to do it. It's a video game. Who cares? They do. That's why they made the decision based off of it.
Yep.
Yep. And so anyway, why do people expect you to lie down and submit to anyone with a keyboard? They've lost the plot? Yep. Personal attack? Well, the thing is, the reason why that people resort to personal attacks, it's because they know that I'm right. They know that I'm right, and they know that they're losing this fight. And that's really it. And it looks like, again, they've dropped somebody else. Partner programs, series of smear campaigns. We should not let this happen. And so, yeah, I wanted to talk about this myself because I thought that this was a huge problem. And, yeah, that's pretty much what I think. And I want to make sure that anybody who is capitulating to any degree of cancel culture or any type of this behavior, I will definitely make a video about you, and a lot of my viewers will know about it.
Oh, fuck.
And honestly, you shouldn't be afraid of the fact that I'm making the video about it. You should be afraid of the fact that people that watch the video agree with what I'm saying.
Yep.
I've made tons of videos that most of my audience has disagreed with. The fact is that I am not controlling people's minds. I'm just simply bringing attention to something that is unfair and wrong. And so that's it. Don't get mad at me. I'm simply the messenger.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get mad at me? Yeah, why do people think that you...
I think this is now out of my sphere of influence, and I cannot issue any anti-fatwa. Don't insult them. Like, I don't want people to, but I don't think I have any control over that anymore.
How does a person defend a person proudly recording their rape fantasies, referring to their trans status? It's simple. It's because people use their identity to hide bad behavior. You see this oftentimes with, like, the, you know, oh, well, it's deplatforming pro-Palestinian supporters, right, or something like that. Whenever it's Frogan talking about hoping that soldiers get PTSD, they're simply using social causes or identity groups as a shield for their own bad behavior. That's what it is. And then also another big issue is that a lot of people let this happen because they don't like the optics of attacking a person who's part of a protected identity group. And so they're afraid of that. They're afraid of being labeled as a bad person. And because of that fear, what they end up doing is they just let it happen to them. That's it. Not excluded from criticism. Yes, Nico was cross-banned for less, 100%. But I will say again, you know, anybody that goes into this or puts this kind of stuff out there, I will absolutely talk about it and make as many people aware of it as possible.
It's like, the reviews have dipped into mostly negative. It was still at mixed at 41% last night, so it dipped to 39%, but it's now mostly negative. So that's kind of fucking crazy, actually. That's kind of fucking insane. Oh, that's a graph. The Twin Towers and Building 7 over here. Is that 240 negative, 344 negative, today 273 negative? God damn, dude. God damn. And there are people who hate me who have been buying the game to, like, own the chuds or whatever. And I find that really interesting. That the people who have been running a life ruination campaign on me because I'm someone easier to take down than Asmongold, because I have milquetoast, slightly right of center opinions like maybe we shouldn't have open borders and repeating what Keir Starmer said is happening in his country. I know, Keir Starmer's not even a conservative, so you know, it's really interesting. And I just, you know, I find it funny that they say that I am, like, you know, racist and transphobic and all of these words that are strange. And then they're gonna buy Crime Boss, Rock A City, that throws around candy ass, that has stereotypes, racial stereotypes in their characters because it's a fun game. And Chuck Norris is one of their headlining characters. America just found out Chuck Norris is homophobic Trump supporter, and they're not taking it well. It was written in 2021. Chuck Norris's homophobic comments have resurfaced after his lookalike was spotted at the U.S. Capitol riots. As he was forced to deny participating in the U.S. riots, fans of the aging action hero are suddenly realizing he isn't as squeaky clean as they might have thought. The 80-year-old actor and martial artist hit the headlines after a Trump supporter claimed to have seen him at last week's insurrection at the Capitol, sharing a photo of a man who did indeed bear a striking resemblance to Chuck Norris. Back in 2012, Chuck Norris was accused of homophobia after he took to the shooting magazine, Ammo Land, to claim that gay people have no place in the scouting movement. His article lashed out at attempts to change a centuries-old policy that banned gay scouts and leaders, criticizing Obama's pro-gay agenda, and accusing his administration of favoring homosexuals over Christians and U.S. taxpayers. Norris has also publicly endorsed the disgraced anti-LGBT Republican Ray Moore, a man who faced a judiciary inquiry for illegally ordering probate judges to enforce a same-sex marriage ban in Alabama. This was news to many fans of Chuck Norris, or just fans of Chuck Norris memes, who expressed their shock that a Trump-supporting guns right activist could possibly harbor homophobic views. And then there's just people here being surprised. Rumors of Chuck Norris's involvement in the Capitol riots were as little surprise to others, who were only surprised that more people didn't know of his true views until now, which really should be the actual surprise, that there's a whole bunch of people that only know about Chuck Norris through memes online and had no idea that somehow he was conservative? Like way conservative? You know, despite his problematic anti-gay views, even Chuck Norris drew the line at supporting the Trump terrorists who stormed the Capitol.
You're getting a vigorous spanking because you've been a bad girl.
Chuck Norris can't be a bad girl. He firmly distanced himself from the rioters, confirming to his fans on Twitter that he had not taken part in the insurrection and did not approve of the violence. Wow, so he had the same exact stance that I've had, where the riots, the people were let in, it was mostly a protest. There were some people who were violent and destroyed things, and those people absolutely should be accountable for doing damage. But the other people who were just wandering around, why were they languishing in prisons? Why were they being arrested? Why were they being charged? He was actually a Democrat, but he explains that they have become too extremist and left him behind, so he became a Republican.
Cat.
Why are you a conservative, sir?
Well, I used to be a Democrat, but unfortunately the Democrats went too far to the left, and the Republicans moved into their position that the Democrats were 40 years ago. See, and so what the Democrats believed 40 years ago, the Republicans believe today. And so I realized that I had to go to a Republican because the Democrats just got too far off the trail. They just got completely off the trail and lost all reality of what America stood for. And so I realized that Republicans at this point in time are more focused on what is best for America than what the Democrats are.
Why are you a conservative?
True, and I like how the question is asked so aggressively. Why are you a conservative? The Republicans didn't even need to move. They just didn't eject everyone who was centered and based. Yeah, it's like, I mean, he's correct. He's explained the issue where the Democrats have become way too radicalized, moved way too far left while they try to slam people on the right for being the ones who are radicalized. And also shown how the Republicans are less conservative and more just taking the place of where the Democrats were years before them. So it kind of makes both parties seem like quite bad. Pretty moderate, really. And I thought I'd bring up another Chuck Norris article, August 8th, 2017. Chuck Norris endorses disgraced anti-LGBT extremist in Senate bid. This was like briefly touched on in the other article. I don't know who Roy Moore is. Yeah, I don't really know who he is, so. The disgraced justice had issued a string of orders declaring the U.S. Supreme Court ruling on equal marriage doesn't apply in Alabama due to state anti-gay laws and ordered probate judges to enforce a gay marriage ban. Moore was found guilty of all 6 charges brought against him and dismissed from his role for shocking abuse of power. He hit back by blaming radical homosexuals. Brother, that's actually a fucking cool-ass... Like, if I still played, like, multiplayer games, I'd name myself Radical Homosexual. That's like when people would call me aggressively heterosexual. Like, it just sounds funny. And vowing to pursue a career in politics, Moore fumed this was a politically motivated effort by radical homosexual and transgender groups to remove me as Chief Justice of the Supreme Court because of outspoken opposition to their immoral agenda. Chuck Norris gave his backing for Moore this week ahead of his 2018 Senate run. Norris said, Judge Roy Moore is the real deal. He's tough, tested, and has a spine of steel. How is Chuck Norris a real person? He just fucking rambles off a sentence like that? That rhymes? The Washington establishment knows that they won't be able to count on him, but Alabama voters can. Judge Moore has never backed down from standing for what's right, and that's exactly what he'll do in the Senate. I'm glad that people who think that I am for some reason transphobic will be supporting Chuck Norris, who hates homosexuals. Thank you for proving you have no standards. And if this wasn't weird enough, you know, some of the other people in the game would also be problematic under this purity spiraling. Vanilla Ice defends racist jokes in new Adam Sandler comedy. After a dozen or so cast members walked off set last week, Vanilla Ice has come out in support of Adam Sandler's new comedy western, The Ridiculous Six. For those who don't play Crime Boss, like all the people trying to virtue signal right now, Vanilla Ice plays himself in Crime Boss and is actually getting a DLC soon. He also voices his own character, so he's you know, pretty integral part to the game. He's one of the main rivals you have. The film, Sandler's first in a new deal with Netflix, has been the subject of controversy since it emerged that the script features derogatory depictions of Native Americans. In an interview with the showbiz website TMZ, Vanilla Ice, who plays Mark Twain in the film, has defended the film's content. It's a comedy, he said. I don't think anybody really had any ill feelings or any intent or anything. This movie isn't Dances with Wolves, it's a comedy. They're not there to showcase anything about anybody. They're just making a funny movie, I think. I don't have anything to do with it, I just play my part. Wow, he's just like me. For real, for real. Hey, you know, that's we kind of connect on that level. Last Wednesday, a group of Native American actors walked off set in protest at the film's depiction of Apache culture, and jokes including character names such as Beaver's Breath and No Bra. Director Frank Carossi, who also directed The Wedding Singer, claimed that any offense was unintentional. A video emerged on Friday of the meeting at which actors were told to leave if they were overly sensitive about the humor. And this is kind of like what everyone should do. Are you complaining about jokes that you want to ascribe something to because you're angry and seething and you got tons of sand in either your vagina or asshole, dependent on your gender? This is what you should be told. This is what companies should tell you. One of the Navajo actors, Allison Young, said, "This is supposed to be a comedy that makes you laugh. A film like this should not make someone feel this way. Nothing has changed. We're still just Hollywood Indians." Netflix issued a statement on Thursday claiming that no one should feel disrespected. The movie has ridiculous in the title for a reason. Because it is ridiculous, a spokesperson said. It is broad satire of Western movies and the stereotypes they popularized, featuring a diverse cast that is not only part of, but in on the joke. And this was something brought up in my stream many times, because there are some people that just see, you know, brown person, oh my god, DEI. Oh my god, lesbian person, oh my god, DEI. And I'm just like, Crime Boss does not participate in the DEI nonsense. This is just unironically a diverse cast of people that feel like the characters that they are and not shoehorned in. Like, the stereotyping works for the game, it works for the setting. So I'm glad that Vanilla Ice would be on my side in this situation as well. That's, you know, very, very interesting to know. And speaking of people who would be on my side, my favorite character, one of my favorite characters, you guys know I love the fucking El Grabby bag, and I also love the French whore. But Touchdown is one of my favorite characters in the game. And Touchdown is voiced by Michael Rooker. Michael Rooker stood up for James Gunn when James Gunn was getting canceled. And if you guys don't know what happened to James Gunn, after attacking conservatives, Disney's filmmaker tweets reveal racism, homophobia, and assault against children. James Gunn tweeted out things like, new poll, 9/11 jokes, always in poor taste, or sometimes funny. Additional question, more or less offensive than Holocaust jokes? Laughter is the best medicine, that's why I laugh at people with AIDS. Or in my case, they kept in the stuff about the time my friend, John Cabrera, killed a whore in Mexico. I love the French whore in Crime Boss. I want to go big game hunting, but no, it's morally questionable, so I'm going to split the difference and go big game raping. They can't even get mad at that joke now, because now Anal Violence is trying to claim that his rape fantasies are just jokes now. The people that claim that you can't make jokes about rape and have canceled people for rape jokes in the past, really weird that you're gonna go with the it's just a joke defense, especially when your entire journalistic career revolves around sex and sexual topics and playing sex games. Your entire online presence revolves around sex and sex things. And your entire VTubing career revolves around sex and sexual topics. You know, that's a little strange, buddy. Back to James Gunn and his offensive tweets. Guys, I was being serious, not a joke. It's the Sabbath, and Jews aren't allowed to open the oven on the Sabbath, so I did them a favor. I don't even know what that means. For the record, I'm against rape and baby eating in real life, unless you're really, really, really hungry. Just made a joke about ass raping my friend when she was asleep. I burnt my tongue on an enchilada, fucking Mexicans. One of the fattest dudes I've ever seen is walking down the street towards me. Over 500 easy. More to love. Mary Matthews just told me a story about how a monkey jerked off to completion on a kid on the set of Max Keeble's Big Move. What? The trainer was too late. It only took the monkey a few seconds to bring himself to completion. A string of semen shot out of the mini monkey wood and splash landed directly on the kid. I know it might be sick, but that story makes me extremely happy. What the what?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Why would you say that? What compels you to type up that sentence and then fucking hit enter on the internet? Why would you do that? What the actual fuck? But yeah, Michael Rooker, who plays Touchdown, one of my favorite characters, wrote a defense of James Gunn, but not of the jokes that he wrote. Michael Rooker said, "To our fans and friends, we fully support James Gunn. We were all shocked by his abrupt firing last week and have intentionally waited these 10 days to respond in order to think, pray, listen, and discuss. In that time, we've been encouraged by the outpouring of support from fans and members of the media who wish to see James reinstated as director of Volume 3, as well as discouraged by those so easily duped into believing the many outlandish conspiracy theories surrounding him." You know, I agree. I agree. I'm sure there's many people who would love to see me reinstated as the primary source of marketing for Crime Boss. And I am also discouraged that the developers or publishers, because I don't know if it was in-game or 505, were so easily duped into believing the outlandish conspiracy theories from tweets that were obviously linked to them in order to slander me. Being in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies has been a great honor in each of our lives. We cannot let this moment pass without expressing our love, support, and gratitude for James. We're not here to defend his jokes of many years ago, but rather to share our experience, having spent many years together on the set making Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2. Once again, I would never expect the developers to defend any of the jokes that I make because they should stay completely fucking impartial. They should either never make any kind of statement, or they should make a statement that the people we partner with, the things that they say and their views do not reflect us. Because they don't. I don't speak on behalf of my sponsors unless I'm saying, hey guys, go to GamerSups and use code Kirsche for 10% off your order. You gotta go get some nice flavored powders and get some big titty cups and get some big cums while you get good sleeps. Code Kirsche for 10% off. He's been to the island of the guy who definitely didn't kill himself. Which one? You can't joke about rape. Imagine Elmer Fudd raping Porky Pig, George Carlin. Also, there's no way that they were unaware of them already, yet they believed nobody's anyway. They knew about my politics already, because not only had I, like, linked them things before, but we have had a discussion on it. And when one of their other partners, I don't know if they threatened to leave or if they just fucking left, because I'm not privy to those conversations, right? But when one of their other partners decided to leave because I was a Trump supporter, they didn't do anything. They were just like, yeah, we understand that Trump supporters get unfairly attacked. And they literally play the game with you. Yeah, they've played the game with me. They've literally been in my stream chats. I have had frequent communication with them for well over a year. There is zero way that you could try and argue the developers did not know who I was or what my content was. Have I brought up Danny Trejo murdering people for drug cartels yet? No, I haven't. I also didn't know that, so I guess we'll have to bring that one up. But, back to Michael Rooker defending James Gunn's edgy tweets. The character he has shown in the wake of his firing is consistent with the man he was every day on set. And his apology, now and from years ago when first addressing these remarks, we believe is from the heart. A heart we all know, trust, and love. In casting, each of us helped him to tell the story of misfits and find redemption. He changed our lives forever. We believe the theme of redemption has never been more relevant than now. Each of us looks forward to working with our friend James again in the future. His story isn't over, not by a long shot. There is due process in the court of public opinion. James is likely not the last good person to be put on trial. I know how that feels, Michael Rooker. Given the growing political divide in the country, it's safe to say instances like this will continue. Although we hope Americans from across the political spectrum can ease up on the character assassinations and stop weaponizing mob mentality. This was written in 2018, and we're in the year of our Lord 2025, and I am literally getting character assassinated by mob mentality. Nothing has changed. It is our hope that what has transpired can serve as an example for all of us to realize the enormous responsibility we have to ourselves and to each other regarding the use of our written words when we etch them in digital stone. That we as a society may learn from this experience and in the future will think twice before we decide what we want to express. And in so, learning, perhaps, can harness this capability to help and heal instead of hurting each other. Thank you for taking the time to read our words, the Guardians of the Galaxy. And then, one of the other guys who has been in quite a few commercials and also quite a few promo spots for Crime Boss, Michael Madsen, Reservoir Dogs, arrested for domestic battery. And, this was actually apparently this year. No, this was last year, sorry. August 10th, 2024. There was articles this year about it, so I guess there was like maybe a progress in the case or whatever. Michael Madsen was arrested in Malibu on Saturday morning on charges of domestic battery following a disagreement between the actor and his wife, Deanna Madsen. Authorities based at the Malibu and Lost Hills Sheriff Station responded to a call shortly after midnight on August 17th. 66-year-old actor was arrested for domestic battery misdemeanor. You heard about the potential unique character based on Kirsche? Yeah, it was clearly a deep partnership. That's why the betrayal hurts. Yeah, so they offer other people who have been working with them, like, renaming of an NPC in the game, but I had been in talks with them for at least, I'm bad at remembering timelines, but it had been at least 10 months, for getting a character of myself in the game. And, like, the only reason that things hadn't moved forward is because of the need for 3D model artists, which I had been utilizing my other contacts in the game industry to try and help find someone to fill those 3D modeler roles. You cannot imagine self-sabotaging as hard as these dudes. I also cannot imagine it. And, like, imagine all it would have taken is when I offered, like, hey, like, you guys, you have the wrong idea, you don't know what's going on here. I've been the target of a harassment campaign for over a month now. They just dropped a Vice article on me 2 days ago. You know. So I was like, please, will you consider talking to my Mythic manager? And it was just like, nope, this was a unanimous decision. So they didn't even want to have a dialogue about it. And so I had just been staying quiet about this since it happened on my vacation in April. And then Asmongold saying what he did made me feel like, yeah, I think I can speak out. I think maybe I can say something. I can be, there's a lot going on, but I can be strong. And there are a lot of people trying to be like, I've never heard of her, therefore she's done nothing for the game. But these fucking bars here, I think, prove otherwise. I'm sure that after Asmon covered it, there are some people buying it just to leave reviews. But you guys know what I said yesterday to you. And these are fucking huge bars. He looks kind of like Bagman in the still frame.
Nobody's gonna go easy clap for that, bro. You are not farming right now. You are not farming. Oh God, this situation has been an absolute mess. Ah, God, Jesus.
It's Kesser here. So today we're gonna be talking about the latest cancel culture campaign to be once again targeting the VTuber Kirsche. Now we talked about her about a year ago because at the time she was supposed to be a featured guest at a convention that me and my wife are also supposed to be featured guests at the time.
Great.
But she was unfortunately let go from that convention because of her problematic opinions and her wrong thinker.
Fuck him. I'll be real. Kirsche said nothing wrong. Straight up. Anybody who disagrees with Kirsche, you're just horrendously misinformed. And what's been going on is that any crimes that happen to black people, people have immense amount of sympathy for, and then any crimes that happen to white people, they just point and laugh at. And all Kirsche was doing was pointing out the hypocrisy, how a black guy can kill a white guy and get $500,000 in sympathy funds, and a white woman can call a child the hard R while being recorded by a pedophilic black man at a park, and she'll receive $10,000 for sympathy for that ruining her life.
There's so many people who don't mention that, and it's just like everyone wants to focus on the she called the child the N-word, and it's like nobody said that was okay. Nobody has defended her saying the word. But also, how come when you talk about her saying the word, you don't talk about how the man recording at a park was going to be going to trial or whatever on May 5th for allegedly being a pedophile? Why aren't we talking? Why was he at the park? Why was he recording at the park?
Guys, I'm gonna be real. Killing someone is much worse than saying the N-word.
Hot take.
I finally said it right. That's fucking insane.
Hot take, cancel Tectone.
I'll be real. They're both fucking terrible. The murder is obviously worse.
Yes.
The murder is obviously worse, but neither of these people should be getting rewarded. Neither of them. But everybody turned a blind eye when a black man killed a white woman, yet now that the white woman is doing something wrong, everybody's pointing it out.
Yep.
So why don't we just have a universal rule where everybody's held accountable for this bullshit, and we just don't pick and choose our favorites? Fuck that. That's not a reality I want to live in.
Or whatever you want to label it as. And seeing that, me and my wife looked at that and said, we don't want to be a part of anything like this, so we gave up our spots as featured guests.
They did. They're fucking wonderful people.
Let's fast forward to the latest life ruination campaign targeting Kirsche, where many individuals are trying to literally ruin her life. They're going after her sponsors and anything she is affiliated with because she is so...
I love Tectone's chat being confused. They're like, wait, wife? Wife? Wait, this is a guy? Wait! funny chat.
Problematic. Now, one partner that actually let her go, although unofficially, is Crime Boss Rocket City. This is a game that Kirsche has been a sort of unofficial ambassador for. She is the largest streamer to play this, arguably, and she has done a lot to promote this game. A lot of their success is in part to Kirsche, but due to these recent complaints, they have dropped her entirely, and look at the results. These are the Steam reviews for this game. They have completely fallen off a cliff, and rightfully so. You reap what you sow when you engage in this nonsense. Now, what's going on here? Well, there's been a long series of articles, viral tweets. It's been going on for about a month now, where people are trying to...
At least I got a really good picture of my model there, though, you know?
White supremacist, or a literal Nazi. And this is just the most recent.
Yeah, there was a leaked footage of her husband online too. It's some guy on an airplane wearing a Burger King crown. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen the clip, but apparently he's like yeah, apparently that's a thing too.
Oh no!
Situation,
not the Burger King crowd.
VTuber Kirsche goes viral for seemingly defending Shiloh Hendrix's fundraiser after the latter reportedly calls a child the N-word. So in their infinite wisdom, Sports Kita makes this wild accusation while also providing a time-stamped clip of the stream in question where she supposedly defended someone saying the N-word to a child. Unfortunately for them, in their infinite wisdom, their own clip that they provide debunks everything they're saying. And we'll see it in just a second. But to give context before we watch it, especially for those who are not from the United States, 2 things are relevant to this clip. There was a situation where a black high school student stabbed a white high school student to death. There was then a fundraiser for the assailants of that situation, which raised hundreds of thousands of dollars.
$500,000 because a black kid killed a white kid.
It's insane. It's literally insane.
Guys, I've been saying this shit for years, and I'm sorry if
this chair looks comfy.
I've been told I'm alt-right because of this, because I said, guys, it's okay to be white on the internet. If you don't understand the immense hatred that white people get on the internet, I'm sorry that you're delusional. But that's the fucking truth. They're the punching bags. We've gotten to a point where people have justified racism towards white people because it doesn't count because they're white.
Yep.
It makes no fucking sense.
Correct.
I'm called an alt-right extremist because I've pointed this out. These people are fucking retarded.
Sorry, Eggy man. You're white, therefore your opinion doesn't matter. So now you're alt-right. Now how dare you?
A few weeks later...
Guys, I've lost friends over that take, by the way.
That's insane.
Just calling out the blatant favoritism towards every other race besides white people on the internet.
Was this Shiloh Hendrix individual?
I wonder...
Guys, how many...
I like how he and I pause with the same fucking frequency. That's gonna be so annoying for both of our audiences. I was gonna say, like, I wonder if he's lost the friends over the take or over them being like, yeah, I don't really care about the take, but I care that there's a lot of drama and I just don't want to deal with that. You know, like that kind of fair weather friend. I wonder which one that kind of is. Annoyed. Oh, BGM. I still have BGM on. I'm sorry. That's okay. He talks loud, you know? He talks loud.
How many... Type 1 if you've ever heard someone...
Oh, hold on. People want to slap his shiny head with dicks. I'm so tired of winning public perception back to common sense territory. He's fucking alt-white!
Say you can't be racist towards white people.
Yeah, fuck it. All them ones, dude. All them ones.
Are we noticing how many people are saying they've seen that?
It's fucking everywhere, man.
It's fucking nuts, brother.
It is.
It's fucking nuts.
Who called a child at a playground the N-word, and then people raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for her after she was...
It was tens of thousands of dollars. I think the last time I checked it was 37,000, but maybe it's broke 50K, but it's not hundreds of thousands.
Oh no, she's made hundreds of thousands now, Eggy man.
Now, in the clip we're gonna watch, Kirsche identifies that these things did in fact happen, and then goes on to say that the latter, the whole N-word controversy, is not good. That's their proof. Let's watch the clip that supposedly shows that she is defending this woman.
How in the name of baby Moses on fire did we go from the loving society of the 90s to the fucking mess in 2025? That's some chutzpah. A lot of people are just like, unfollowed. That's an unfollow from me. Bostonian guy said, oh no, what am I going to do without followers? I think it's okay to call a 5-year-old the N-word. I don't think most people think it's okay. I think there are a lot of people who are tired of things happening, like Daniel Penny, like the whole George Floyd incident and the Summer of Love, like the Carmelo Anthony.
Like, guys, I understand that some words are really bad and they hurt people's feelings, right? I would rather be called a name than get fucking stabbed to death.
True and real. I'd rather be alive and have someone call me a slur than get stabbed.
Here's just my food money for the Did You Know That Kirsche is German for cherry?
Did you know that Lord Suchio is German for thank you for the $50? Thank you, Lord Suchio, for the fucking 50. Thank you, my guy. Between the two of you, you're hitting Kino Casino levels of pausing. Literally EFAP pausing here, dude.
Right? And that's where we're at in big 2025, where we're trying to say that name calling is worse than murder. That's what people are trying to say.
Imagine.
It's insane. But a kid, though, okay. So, let me ask you a question. Dazzle dork?
Speaking of dazzling dorks, there's still no proof of age of the child. Like, it's just been spread around as fact that it's a 5-year-old autistic child. But, like, I've still, to this day, not seen any evidence of their age or their level of autism. Not like that matters in the situation, right? But if people are going to assert that as fact, I would like to know if it is true. Well, like, regardless of whether it's a 5 or 10-year-old child, that's not going to change that, like, don't call the child the N-word, right? But I'd still like to know, like, where's the evidence? How do you know this?
If you were a kid, would you rather be called a name, or would you rather be stabbed to death?
That's a fun game.
I cannot believe
that's a fun chat. Type 1 in the chat if you'd rather be called a name, or type 2 if you'd rather be stabbed and killed. What? Someone typed 2! What? Just stop it! Why do I see some 2s in here? You have so much to live for! Jesus told me so!
You just tried to say that you'd rather be stabbed to death over being called a name. Jesus. That happened in real time, by the way. Jesus. Good. You've changed your opinion. Thank you.
There's just a lot of people tired of the 2-tier justice system.
Of course.
And they start saying some crazy things and doing some crazy things. That doesn't make it okay.
Of course it doesn't.
But it's like, that's just kind of the consequence of where we're at now, unfortunately. And there are some people who are like accelerationists that are like, the pendulum is going to swing back so far it's going to break off. And I hope that's not true.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that happening. I don't like seeing this kind of, like, violence towards other people. Like, not that words are violence, right? But there are people advocating for violence on both sides. And I don't like seeing that.
Again, to reiterate, Sportskita is accusing Kirsche of seemingly defending the latter fundraiser, and the clip they provide as the supposed proof does the exact opposite.
Absolutely.
It literally debunks
these dirty smear merchants.
Their own claim. She looks at the objective reality that these 2 fundraisers do exist. They happen. She identifies that, and then later says that given the circumstances and everything going on with the 2 fundraisers and all of the
someone in Eggy's chat said I like pineapple,
and how one's universally praised and the other one's universally shit on.
Not only is the other one universally shit on, but I'm getting shit on for just pointing out the reality of the situation. I did not defend her saying it to a child. I pointed out the reality of what is going on. And people are trying to paint me as a racist for doing so. It's insanity. Where's my $700,000?
Then says that is proof of her defending the fundraiser.
Not even close.
It is incredibly...
Not even in the same ballpark. It's so disingenuous.
Dishonest. Honestly, at this point, they make Kotaku look like they deserve a Pulitzer Prize.
True.
This is a garbage headline. It is misleading.
Oh, yeah.
And it is inflammatory. It is trying to paint Kirsche as something that she is not. They are putting words in her mouth that she clearly did not make in that clip. And a lot of people would react to this and run with it, and some people would criticize this article, including Asmongold. You can see this video where he reacted to the Sportskita article, and you can see the like-dislike ratio is like 99%. Now, if you went to Twitter, you would think this is a closed shut case, that she's a white supremacist, that she's this awful, terrible person, because they read a headline from Sportskita and other viral tweets like that. But they don't question.
There's so many times where the internet just tries to run rampant with someone's misfortune or an out of context clip and try to ruin their life, but 99 times out of 100, if you just look into it for yourself, you'll realize that it's a fucking nothing burger.
Question anything that's actually going on here. When you have people like Asmongold actually look at the clip in question that's supposed to defend this claim in the headline, it proves the exact opposite. So this is a very unfortunate situation where people are using articles like this to go after sponsors
where
and
50 to 60-year-old gets their
news. That leads us to Crime Boss, which again, Kirsche was a sort of unofficial ambassador for. They weren't paying her to promote this game. She was just a very big fan and brought a lot of people.
They weren't paying me. Like, I wasn't getting any payment from them, but I did this year. I want to make sure I'm being incredibly accurate with story times, right? I wasn't getting paid by in-game or 505. However, I did get affiliate links this year. They were temporary links, and you guys remember even when I got the first link, it wasn't supposed to be temporary, but they ended up shutting it off after a period of time and deciding to not continue the affiliate link program without telling me. So I had been promoting the link, and it was still tracking purchases through the link. However, I wasn't getting revenue split from it, and I didn't know that it was supposed to have been turned off, but it was still working without the revenue split. And so this was something that I had to deal with in-game with, and they had to go to 505 and talk about it. And so they ended up fixing that situation, thankfully. And then I got a second affiliate link to continue testing this platform with you guys. And at least for that second affiliate link, I was informed, like, this is going to be like I think it was a 2-week long code. I can't remember if it was 1 week or 2 weeks, but it was about 1 or 2 weeks that my code worked, and I was getting a revenue split from every purchase of the game. So, like, I did make some money. I did have affiliate links this year, but I had been playing the game since release in 2023. I had started reaching out to 505 in 2023. When I finally got in touch with someone at the beginning of 2024 at in-game, they were incredibly apologetic for how 505 had just dropped the ball incredibly hard in responding to me wanting to work with them to promote the game. And so I had been working directly with them since the beginning of last year. It's never not funny when you see people talk about how white people are so powerfully evil, but they never stopped to consider... Oh, I can't. The chat is gone, it scrolled. The way this stops is to make the company and studio's effort to revoke more costly than the perceived outcome of maintaining said ties whenever hit pieces like these surface. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's the same, like, fear and pressure culture that these people have been pushing for way over a decade. And the way that, like, the last hit piece was written, and the way that some of these journalists are now circling the wagons on Blue Sky and on Twitter, they're tagging other journalists, they're tagging other publications, they're trying to close the ranks, and they're trying to make this another Gamergate scenario, where they try to drive away fans with wrong opinions, still in gaming, but also in the VTubing quote-unquote community. I don't believe there's a VTubing community. I've been very open about this many, many times. But this is what they're trying to do. They're not entirely, like, they are going after me and they're trying to ruin my life because they don't want me to have a platform. But the goal is to get rid of you. The goal is to do the same thing to people who want to be here and want to enjoy VTubers. What they did with the whole gamers are over campaigns. Like, games don't need gamers anymore. Gamers are done. Gamers are bigots and they're the players of the past. We're setting the ground for the new audience. They're literally trying to colonize VTubing. Yeah, and this is why I said, like, I've been the canary in the coal mine this entire fucking time. And there are some people that would rather denigrate me and pretend it's not happening because they just want to enjoy their waifu. I get it, bro. I don't want you to have to be involved in politics, but, like, if I'm trying to make sure that everyone can still enjoy everything instead of it being some weird-ass hug box that your Oshi will also probably get attacked for at some point, because these people never stop purity spiraling. It's not going to stop with me. If they get me out of the way, they're gonna go after Alana, they're gonna go after Leaflet, they're gonna go after Pippa, they're gonna go after all of these people that they perceive are too edgy, are too extreme, are too over the line. It's not going to stop with me. So your hatred of me, even if you dislike the things that I say, I've been trying to prevent this. They're going after, exactly, it's like Trump, they're after us, you're just in the way. You're not welcome in the VTuber community. Bitch, you are all the tourists in this community. Stay in your own shit lanes, true. Kirsche, you take it that the whole corporation with 505 and the Crime Boss devs will affect my future cooperation with game devs and game publishers, but you do hope it has not turned me off of the idea with working in the gaming industry. I've expressed a great passion for gaming when you talked about your former game cooperation with games like Terra and Crime Boss. I am very passionate about games that I feel a deep love for, which is why I worked with the Terra publishers for so long, which is why I worked with Crime Boss for so long. When I want to dedicate my time and effort to a game, I make that very well known. And my branding and my connection with my audience is that you guys know I don't promote things without actually caring about them. Like, yeah, sometimes I'll take like a 2-hour gameplay sponsorship for some shit mobile game, But before I sign that contract, before I am contractually obligated to not shit on the game, I'll be like, hey guys, remember, don't spend money on gacha games. Remember, this is just getting a little bit of a bag. This is just getting, getting some easy wins out of the way, brother. Everyone understands that. But when I do a long-term partnership, a long-term relationship, again, like Terra, like Crime Boss, it's something I care about. It's something I want to see succeed. It's something I want to make sure my audience gets exposed to and also has fun with. I want other people to see what I see in that game, and I want the developers and the publishers to be rewarded for doing a really good job. It's the same thing I bring up with, like, Azure Lane and why I spend money on Azure Lane. You might not like gachas, you might disagree with me, but when developers do a good thing, when they break the mold of other people in their sector, I want to reward them. I want to give them money. I want to encourage them to keep doing the good thing. Because if you don't, they will start doing the same thing everyone else in their sector is doing just to make more money. And I don't want to see that happen. We'll fight for you and any others who they attack? Hell yeah, that's what I plan on doing. They're just starting with the one they perceive as the most extreme? Absolutely. I'm just the most, like, visibly, opinionated person that they can attack. And I'm, like Asmongold said, I'm smaller than him, so they perceive me as an easy target that won't fight back. Negligible, as it were. Off-Kai thought I would be negligible. These journalists thought I would be negligible. These seething V-tweeters thought I would be negligible. Crime Boss thought I would be negligible. Anal Violence posted a response to the people calling her degenerate over posting semi-naked pictures on Mother's Day that the word degenerate is a transphobic slur. This has to be bait at this point. There's no way. I'm sure I have screenshots of that posted in my DMs right now. Oh god. They thought you were a soft target, but they weren't ready for the concrete and steel bunkers you had created to deal with Kier-Mom. They walk to their own slaughter. Yeah, I've been built to be rock and fucking stone, unfortunately. I'd probably, like, I don't want to be, but, like, that's just the consequence of how I grew up, so, Like, I don't think of myself as, like, some huge fucking content creator, and I don't think I have much of an effect overall in general. It just so happens that my effect on Crime Boss specifically, because of how niche it was and how much I supported it, it is a large-scale thing.
To this game. And they owe her a lot, but you know what they did instead? They quietly dropped her. She has reported that they got rid of her. They've cut ties because of seemingly the recent controversies. There's no other reason they would do this now, and you can see the results. People are not happy. Yep. A lot of people who came to this game because of Kirsche are very dissatisfied, and they're showing that by leaving negative reviews. That's how they're providing their feedback for the situation, where they're seeing someone who boosted this game get dropped the second there's any heat applied.
I think the moment that a company drops you for an out-of-context clip and, like, publicly, like, defames you, I just fuck them, bro. Straight up. I think these companies that want to give their creators shit for out-of-context clips or situations they don't really have the full spectrum of, they're just so fucking dumb, it's insane. And I think even the other creators as well who are like, there was another dumbass creator on the internet, I can't remember who it was, they left GamerSupps because GamerSupps wouldn't abandon Kirsche due to this lack of context clip. And it's like, fuck them. Okay, you want to go down that route? Okay, stop using your smartphone. Because it was made by children in a sweatshop in China. Okay, stop watching Jujutsu Kaisen. Stop watching Jujutsu Kaisen. Yeah. Because
Jujutsu Kaisen was my favorite GamerSupps flavor! And Tectone actually also is a GamerSupps partner. Tectone released his GamerSupps flavor a few weeks ago.
They're made in the most horrible working conditions of any company ever. Alright, stop eating fucking food because they're the descendant of a Nazi. Like, just like the chef was a descendant of a Nazi. It's like, where do you draw the fucking line? This is what I like to do. I like to let my criticisms live in reality and not find reasons to get upset because I'm bored.
True.
It's just pathetic. It's so embarrassing where the world is headed. It's just nuts. Like, it's not enough for people to do things that are wrong and be held accountable for them. People are getting to the point where they have to make things up because they're bored and they just want to be angry. And I'm glad Kirsche is getting a pretty big amount of support for this because it's ridiculous where the internet's headed.
To the situation, all the relevant parties, it is a very bad situation. Now, of course, you lose a lot of dedicated fans, but you gain some new ones, don't you? As pointed out here, good job capitulating to people that won't even buy your game.
True.
Crime Boss. You can see this whole yap session, blah, 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 blah. This person says base game devs who stand on business by dropping an openly bigoted white supremacist VTuber from a sponsorship. They say, oh, we're so interested in this game, guess what?
he was fucking, I could hear his voice straight at the end of that one because it was so much fucking word slop, man.
They don't own the game.
Good.
They're saying all this, but they're not actually supporting the game because that's...
Yeah, and that's where the reality, and that's where the internet is at in 2025.
Yep.
Is that we are pandering to people who aren't even a part of our community.
And that's also why I showed off those articles at the beginning of stream, because some people got called out for saying this shit on the Steam forums and then not owning the game, which got those people to buy the game. But by buying the game and supporting the people who are part of the game, who have more quote-unquote extreme opinions than I do, you are showing your whole ass. You are showing that you don't have principles, you don't have morals. This is all baseless placations and virtue signaling and a power struggle because you want to feel better than me and you want to see my life ruined because you specifically dislike me. So congratulations for proving your entire point fucking worthless.
It's like, for example, and there's a great little analogy. I'm going to make this about myself real quick. Typical Tectone. Why the fuck would I care about what Hassan's community, Denim's community, the Lolly community, the Genshin community, the LSF community, the 4chan community says? I don't want any of these people in my fucking business. Right. I don't want to appease any of these people. All of these people can go fuck themselves. They're retarded. They're not needed. They're unnecessary. So why would I spend my time worrying about these mentally unstable people who are miserable in their own lives and their only goal is to make everybody else just as miserable as them? I'm good, guys. Anyways, Kirsche, you got nothing but my support. I'm sorry this just happened to you. Like, comment, subscribe. See y'all in the next one.
Kirsche.
That's me.
And she is in the middle of some crossfire right now when it comes to, well, really just one Vice reporter here. They are really going after hard when it comes to VTubing and the VTubing community. And they put out another article here. Now, I do think it's important to understand, once again, the source of this article, but we'll get to that in just a little bit. But this article from Vice says, VTubing has an elephant in the room. Lots, what do you think that elephant in the room is?
I'm going to say they're non-existent schlong because it's probably written by...
Chat is saying it's Jeff from World Class Bullshitters. I'm Jeff!
Is bigotry.
Oh. I
What an ominous image.
Non-existent schlong. That would have been funnier.
Oh,
I'm gonna speed this up.
Now, this article is written by Anna Valens, and we will get back to Anna.
Wait, not that weirdo?
We'll get to Anna in a little bit.
Greg, I was having a good day.
I know. VTubing has a problem with right-wing harassment. Anna Valens shares Anna's experience here. Now, this was posted after our show yesterday, so I wanted to get to this. And pretty much the first half of this is just the criticism that this person has received for going after Kirsche.
It's literally a fucking blog
which
post,
we'll come back
man.
to this in a minute. And it's the irony here of Anna Valens leading with the harassment, in quotations, against Anna. That's the top of the article here, instead of it being a footnote to the article. This is something that we see. And by the way, this is harassment here, by the way. So
You'll never be a woman. Ah!
Harassment.
Jeff, I'm about to harass the fuck out of you, man. You're never going to be a woman.
Oh, damn it. Sunday means nothing to me now.
So they talk about the gamer subs thing, and it says earlier this week, independent VTuber Ren Penrose announced they would end their partnership with gaming supplement company Gamer Subs. According to Penrose, her decision came due to their association with creators whose views strongly conflict with my own, as well as a lack of communication from the company on this issue.
I saw a screenshot. I posted a tweet that night. I think it was Friday night. Posted a tweet thanking everyone because some fucking how my weird little ass made like #2 super chatted in the US and like #7 worldwide. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Holy shit. Literally, I live and die by your support, honorable chatters. And I saw a screenshot of Rin doing a stream on the same day. And while I was top 2 in the US and top 7 worldwide, they had gotten $20. So I'm sure Gamer Subs is missing a lot from them dropping their sponsor.
And they talk about, and we talked about this person over here yesterday, and how they have a hate boner for Kirsche, and like 50% of their posts are Kirsche, trying to play. Anyways, they have gone back, and this person who wrote this article more or less went in and has gone in to play the victim now, as we talked about here. Since the publication of this article, harassment against me has become particularly egregious on Twitter. An anime-themed tea company told me to kill myself. A right-wing VTuber fan encouraged me to buy a rope and hang myself.
That is never going to be a not ridiculous fucking I cannot believe that is a real sentence. Jesus fucking Christ.
Right here. And so we have a couple examples here. What happened?
I didn't do that.
Oh, interesting.
Sorry.
No. Then we have this here. It says, others continued with lurid harassment discussed in the original article. One Twitter user misgendered me.
Oh, no, the ultimate harassment.
And concluded, I am a degenerate with a humiliation fetish. Another used a meme to tell me you're a man.
Sped up Craig sounds like Ben Shapiro. So what you're saying is that I can ask Craig to deadpan read WAP, and my dream can be complete of having Ben Shapiro say the entire thing in his deadpan voice. What you're saying is I need to ask Craig to do this and put this up on Sidescrollers Plus to fulfill my dreams.
A third argued the trans community has as a big problem in the room, autogonophilia. A fourth suggested I created the harassment against myself.
Well, yes. I agree with that statement.
I mean, it's very possible because a lot of the harassment is anonymous, and we all know how these journalists operate. I mean, we've seen them even try to, like, write negative Steam reviews for their own games and try to blame it on other people, but they forget to log out of their fucking developer account. Like, we've seen that when these journalists want to cry that there's harassment, they have made it against themselves. And when they use mostly anonymous sources, it doesn't, like, people don't believe them anymore because it's happened to be false so many times previously.
You definitely did.
Right here. Rusty McShackleford over here on X says, it's just I'm sorry, do you know Rusty?
Oh, it's just a take on King of the Hill, which is
yeah.
It's just paragraph after paragraph of him humiliating himself, even explaining to normies in gratuitous detail.
Ty, thank you for the 5. That's your friend, Jeff from World Class Bullshitters. You just texted him a screenshot of me asking about him. Small world. I was like, who is this man? I like his shirt and his jacket. That's a nice shirt. I have a nice shirt.
What each slur means. This has to be a humiliation fetish thing. You are a hysterical degenerate here. You can see here the clip right here. And by the way, 2 likes on this. 2.
They have not stopped being a hysterical degenerate, and Lord, I love it. Oh, speaking of loving it, hold on, I just got, thank you, KB. You're a fucking beautiful man. They're dragging Razor Fist into this now? Kirsche collabing with Razor Fist, a man who defended the Confederacy, has allegations of dating a minor, and is an extremely vocal apologist for Bill Cosby and other men accused of sexual assault. Kirsche actively emulates his aesthetic, showing that she's a genuine fan of him. What the fuck am I reading? What the fuck am I reading? I like how this person has so little of an idea of what they're talking about that they don't even know I'm not collabing with Razor Fist. Both of us are on Sidescrollers' channel. Both of us are guests on another channel. And I thought it would be cool if I was black and white along with his aesthetic. I thought that would be neat. I thought that would make the show more fun. The Razor appearance on Sidescrollers was on May 21st last year. I mean, like I said the other day, these people are just digging for absolutely anything they can take out of context to paint me as a bad person. A Razor posted an 18-minute video of how his accuser, an ex-girlfriend of his, tried to cancel and blackmail him and sent death threats to both him and his fucking dog. Yeah, I retweeted his video on that because he came with fucking voice receipts, dude. So, like, that's actually insane. Actually insane, dude. Razor and Savvy are going to nuke these dumbasses from orbit. Yeah, now that they've started branching out from attacking my VTuber friends who were slightly edgy to attacking these, like, monoliths of the YouTubing community, I don't really think they understand what kind of hornet's nest they've stuck their dick in. I have a real talent for drawing these wackos out of their holes. Not sure if you should admire that gift or not, but you sure as hell respect it. I don't fucking know, man, dude. It seems like if somebody expresses just like a seething hatred of me and they can't even explain it, they just like fucking just incredibly hated sentiment, chances are that person has some skeletons in their closet, because it seems like every time someone attacks me, they're like a scum of the earth kind of person. I just don't like, if you just left me alone, your reputation wouldn't suffer. If you're like, I hate this dumb bitch, but then you said nothing, like, you would be so much better off. I haven't used, like, my marshmallow in, like, a million years. I haven't used my marshmallow in ages, but I still like, you know, like once a month or so, I'll get like a message. And I don't know what's happening. This is like a saga. It's like a Shakespearean epic going on right now. Why do you feel the need to defend and keep fans who have been pointed out to you for having indefensible opinions regarding indiscriminate hatred of certain groups of people? You can be edgy and yourself without letting these people strong-arm you into their worldview that certain groups of people don't deserve XYZ because of random factors. History has shown us where this ends. Your inability to reject people who actually express these immoral and indefensible opinions and have expressed desire to act based on them is what I am criticizing. Unless, of course, you have fallen down a parasocial trap and think of these as your quote-unquote friends. So you feel the need to defend them. Or even worse, that you do actually hold these opinions yourself, which I don't believe. I hope you take a moment to think about what sort of audience you want to have, and if you have maybe unintentionally invited the wrong crowd. I'm not sure what words Marrow would flag, so that's why I phrased it like this. Are they saying they would have, like, called me slurs if Marrow had let them? What is happening? Reftis rusing meme. What are they even fucking talking about? That doesn't make any goddamn sense. Are you okay? Are you okay, schizo retard? And I guess maybe they were like drunk or something, because then they sent this. Hey Kirsche, I'm here to apologize. I have written quite a long marrow yesterday, or the day before, though I'm not sure if you can even tell the time on these things. Being concerned about your morality. Is this like when like someone completely unrelated to you is concerned about your virginal purity? But I shouldn't have been. Sadly, I was tricked. Many such cases. Not only by those who propagate that you support these immoral talking points, but also by your defenders. Those who claimed they wanted to defend you tried to downplay the significance of the propaganda books in the retweet. I think the only time I've seen that is when people are just like, I don't know what those books are, and so she probably didn't either. And they are correct. I did not. I did not even see the swastika until like way later, either like, you know, 4 fucking a.m. or the next day. And I was just like, what is this? What do they mean? Where's the swastika? And my mods had to point out, Kirsche, it's on the book. And I was like, what do you mean? That's an iron cross. And they're like, no, the book next to that one. And I was like, oh. And then I told my Mythic manager and I was like, hey, so like there's people angry that I retweeted a picture of my plushie and apparently there's like some Nazi books in it or some shit. And he was like, Nazi books? Isn't that an iron cross? And I was like, no, next to it. And he's like, what? Those who claim to want to defend you tried to downplay the significance of the propaganda books in that retweet when you've clearly stated your opinions on it. I'm sorry, it's always hard to see the right things when it comes to discussions like these, and I don't want to sour the enjoyment of VTubers by people who try to claim this or that VTuber to an ideology. I think that this has happened to you. I know that you have no control over it, that's why I apologize. You are clearly not the person people try to portray you as, and I have let myself be tricked. Don't lose hope. I wish you all the best throughout and for the future. Thank you, and if you haven't been diagnosed, please do, because you definitely have autism. I say this in the nicest way possible. I say this as someone who has a heavily autistic audience. Please get diagnosed. Good ending? The good autist, he realized his mistake? What a guy. We love progression. We love good endings. Yeah, autism, non-derogatory. And then they sent a third one. I really have trouble keeping myself short. Same, dude. Same. The anxiety in me causes me to over-explain absolutely fucking everything. I cannot type shortly. Sorry if I continue to rag on about a topic you might not want to hear. Well, it's been going on since March, so I don't really have that much of a fucking choice now, do I? But you can, as well, decide not to read this marrow. I'm a woman. So, I apologize for being wrong in believing the narratives like that, and I know you have mostly no control over how people choose to defend you. I sadly can't offer a solution, but all I can do is to make you aware of these actors who try to claim you as a token. What the fuck? As I said before, like I mentioned, they don't defend you with the words you presented in the white background black text tweet, but by downplaying the significance of the post in question. Not only that, they won't even deny the claims against you, but reinforce them by pretending you align with their twisted worldview that X group of people should indiscriminately do bad things. Where are they reading this? Because I haven't seen any of this. Where are they reading? Where did they go to find these things? You know how these posts go, and I would rather avoid the censors. I'm saddened that this is happening, that lies are being spread, and that you are being adorned with foreign feathers. You don't watch my stream often because you get a feeling that 30% of my chat has an emotional maturity of a 5-year-old and they're very vocal about it. I would say 30% is probably overshooting it, but I mean, like, not every community is going to be 100% good, right? Every basket is going to have a few bad eggs in it, but I feel like the majority of my community are good people, and the majority of my community are very well behaved. There's very few people I've had to ban when I tell them to not bring politics up in other people's chats. Very few people. And there was I saw a tweet yesterday that made me kind of fucking angry because, like, we found out that, like, one of the people going after me in this whole, like, cancel culture campaign is an editor for one of my friends, and apparently she had been tagged a whole bunch of times by other people. And I'm proud to say that only one of the people that tagged her was in my audience at all, and that person has been banned because I told you guys that you would be shit cunts if you did that. Let me see here. An AI song? I can play AI songs. I won't fucking get DMCA'd for that. Azehara's highlighted message?
Killer! From Azehara, from Azehara, from Azehara, from Azehara. Reading highlight his message 100. Careful! Kirsche violence will brutalize your sister. Pussy like macaroni in a pot. Kirsche violence will brutalize your sister. Pussy like macaroni in a pot. Kirsche violence will brutalize your sister. Pussy like macaroni in a pot. Kirsche violence will brutalize your sister. Pussy like macaroni. Careful, Kirsche, and violence will brutalize your sister. Pussy like macaroni in a pot. Careful, Kirsche, and violence will brutalize your sister. Pussy like macaroni in a pot. Your sister, pussy like macaroni in a pot. Careful, Kirsche, and violence will brutalize. Careful, Kirsche, and violence will brutalize your sister. Pussy like macaroni in a pot. Kirsche, and violence will brutalize your sister. Pussy like macaroni in a pot. Kirsche, and violence will brutalize your sister. Pussy like macaroni in a pot. Kirsche, and violence will brutalize your sister. Pussy like macaroni in a pot.
I was gone for 5 minutes. What the fuck is happening?
Brutalize your sister. Pussy like macaroni in a pot.
Oh my god.
Your sister. Pussy like macaroni in a pot.
Oh no! Not the Azehara!
Will brutalize your sister. Pussy like macaroni in a pot. Careful, Kirsche, and violence will brutalize your sister. Pussy like macaroni in a pot. Your sister, pussy like macaroni in a pot. Careful, Kirsche, and violence will brutalize.
Oh my god.
Careful, Kirsche, and violence will
This is my first time chatting because I'm not sure what I'm hearing. Why are the Veggie Tales getting in on this? Sunday school sure has changed.
Pussy like macaroni. Careful, Kirsche, and violence will brutalize. Macaroni in a pot. Kirsche, and violence will brutalize. Macaroni in a pot.
Bomba clad. Oh, my cheeks hurt. Not from the brutalization, from the laughing. Oh god. Oh fuck. Brutalize man. Bomba clad.
Hey, what's up, guys? Rip here.
Hey, what's up, guys?
So today I want to revisit the topic we covered in yesterday's video. If you want the full context leading up to this, you can check out that video. But to sum it up very quickly before we get into the updates, we had this VTuber named Kirsche, who's under attack due to a life ruination campaign led by a bunch of maniacs on the internet who are trying to get her sponsors pulled. They're trying to deplatform her, and they're doing this through many slanderous tweets, even articles. They're trying to paint her as a white supremacist or a Nazi, where this is just one of many articles. But this one in particular was one we talked about yesterday, where you have this very slanderous headline that, of course, is not backed up by anything. In fact, the clip they provided that was supposed to prove the statement proved the exact opposite. Again, you can check out yesterday's video for a more thorough breakdown of that. But all these articles and all these viral tweets attacking her and her career, they weren't effective. All they were generating was likes on Twitter. But unfortunately, this latest one seems like it was part of the campaign that actually got something taken away from her and had to do with this game, Crime Boss, a game that Kirsche has put a lot of time and effort into.
Well, they dropped me while I was on vacation, so it was a month of like seething V-tweeters tagging gamersups en masse. And then, the day I went on vacation, the first article from Vice dropped, and then Crime Boss dropped me 2 days after that.
Promoting. You can see this is just a small sample of her streams involving this game. She has worked very hard as a partner of this company. I don't even believe she's paid to do this. She's just doing it because she enjoyed the game and she wanted to share it with more.
I wasn't being paid. I did have 2 affiliate links where I got a revenue split this year, but the majority of the time was completely unpaid, no revenue split. My original link when they released on Steam was only to track numbers. I got no revenue from that. There was 0 revenue split from their Steam release when I had a link that was purely to track purchases.
People, and now as a result of this cancellation campaign, they have silently dropped her. And of course, a lot of people are not happy, and they've been taking a lot of heat as a result of this cowardly decision. You can see now, this is the update. On day 3 of this whole thing, you can see the negative reviews. I mean, it's getting pretty insane, the amount of negative attention they have gotten as a result of this. And people look at this and just simply say, you reap what you sow. And it seems like things are not slowing down even after the first 2 days completed. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people are very angry about this, and they're angry that Kirsche has been getting an insane amount of support ever since she was dropped by this game. And you can see people saying the worst humans in existence are defending Kirsche and sticking their fan base on a company for dropping her. It shows how evil they truly are. And you can see I make a little cameo right here. Just found out today, I am one of the worst humans in existence.
Oh,
and
no.
I'm evil. It's pretty insane, the worldview of people like this who are so terminally...
Look at this face of evil, chat. Just radiates sinister energy.
Online, that people like myself are held up on such a pedestal. You'll think I'm like some villain in an anime or something like that. I'm just a guy who saw some ridiculous cancellation campaign going on here, and I called it out and called out their very pathetic response to people trying to get Kirsche to have her partnership removed, and of course that's what they did. Yesterday I found I wasn't allowed to talk about this topic because apparently if you have a successful YouTube channel, you're not allowed to talk about this because it's beneath you.
Yeah, Rev, how dare you talk about a cancellation campaign? You have a wife and a successful YouTube career. Why the fuck would you talk about something like this?
Now I'm being called one of the worst humans in existence for talking about this. It's absolutely crazy. Now, of course, there's a lot of negative reviews, and I want to pick this one in particular because it sets up the rest of this video. This is the most helpful review in the last 30 days, obviously talking about this situation, saying, well, I like the game, it's like Payday, but I had a lot more fun with this, but I can't give a positive review. I found this game because of a streamer on Twitch and was glad she showed it off. Best I can tell, she is the only one that pushed this game, and that matters because the company dropped her over some online drama. I will not support a company that drops their biggest supporter over an out-of-context hit piece, not only because it is a truly dishonorable action on the developer's part, but if they will drop the #1 advocate, then how long before they start changing the game to appease to the same rage posters when they dislike content already in the game? And that is a...
I was bringing up, like, all of the people I brought up earlier, all the people involved in the game that would also be deemed, like, persona non grata. They have terrible opinions. They've made edgy jokes. They've defended edgy jokes. Chuck Norris genuinely dislikes gay people, which is way worse than anything I've ever said. Right, like these people pretending to support the game just because they don't like me are insane. And Jupiter is another great example. Jupiter is like a roided up lesbian that people make jokes about all the time. She's a perfect stereotype, and she's a fun character because they like don't pull punches. They make her as ridiculous as everyone else in the game. I loved Jupiter. Yeah, Jupiter's fucking fun as fuck, man.
Very truthful statement at the end here, talking about other aspects of the game. They are trying to appease the mob, the modern audience, whatever you want to call them. These people find everything problematic, and you fulfilled their outrage. You responded by removing her partnership. Is that where you're going to stop? So when they start complaining about controversial aspects of your game or your team or what have you, are you also going to drop those things or change them to appease the mob? The mob, which, by the way, is largely not engaging with this game despite their promises to do so. Here's an example we looked at yesterday. Base game devs who stand on business by dropping an openly bigoted white supremacist VTuber from his sponsorship. And then they, you know what? They don't even buy it. They don't even buy the game. They say all these nice words in these Steam threads. They think they're some warrior, some champion of social justice here, but they're not actually buying the game. This is the modern audience, and these are the people that they're appealing to. Here's another one that I found today. Instant buy. Really happy to see the devs stand against VTubers in similar brain rot content. Seriously, I never understand. What's the appeal of males in their 50s role-playing as Japanese little girls? How original. What? Nice to see at least some devs still have common sense, since Payday 3 is trash. I soon gonna look into this game. Seems fun. Edit. LMAO. So many angry VTuber simps giving me free Steam points. Ooh, edgy boy. He's getting his free Steam points. Ooh. Well, unfortunately, it seems like this is the currency that's probably the most bountiful in this person's life, because you look down here, people said, buy it then, because this person still hasn't bought the game despite saying instant buy. And the response is, next month. I threw all of my money into Yakuza. If Sega at least didn't lower the cost to 45% instead of the usual 75%.
I will make a correction here as well. This little mouse icon, when this guy made this thread, he did not own the game. So I'm going to assume that somebody bought it for him, someone gifted it to him, because this little mouse icon means that they own the game now. So at some point, people saw he was getting backlash for praising the devs while not owning the game, rightfully so, and probably gifted it to him, especially since he admitted that he wouldn't be able to buy it until next month.
So here's some life advice, I think genuine life advice here. If you have to basically wait till your next paycheck in order to afford buying a video game, I don't think your time and your money is well spent using what little you have on a game you're buying out of spite of VTubers you don't like. True? That just seems foolish to me. I think your money is better spent elsewhere, but nobody's going to stop you from this vicious cycle of bad decisions that's clearly going on with this person. But anyways, other people have been saying that they're going to stream this game as well, saying, I know what I'll be streaming next week.
Nyara's a transgender person, so it's really weird that they would buy a game that has Chuck Norris in it. It's really weird that they would buy a game where the most prominent character in it is anti-LGBTQ. That's a very strange thing to support, Nyara.
Unfortunate, because a lot of these people are activists. They're very pro-LGBT, and you can see hook, line, and sinker.
Nyara already refunded it. Really? Is there like fucking source? Is there a source for that?
Fortunately, this is going to backfire for them, because Chuck Norris is a part of this game as Sheriff Norris, and he has a history of being very vocally anti-LGBT. If this was any other game, they would be trying to cancel it for a connection to someone like Chuck Norris. You can see this article provided by Kirsche. America just found out Chuck Norris is a homophobic Trump supporter, and they're not taking it well.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it works out for her.
To this article, anyone who's surprised about Chuck Norris having these views, like, where have you been? Like, you were not paying attention.
Yara crashed out, hated the game, refunded it, and bitched about refunds on Steam. Please give me a source. I need to see that. Please fucking give me the source, dude. The Rocky City devs also look like soy boy leftists per their social medias. I don't know what that means.
Whatsoever. And here's another article saying Chuck Norris endorses disgraced anti-LGBT extremist in Senate bid. Now, I'm not sharing this to go cancel Chuck Norris or anything like that, but clearly if these people are going to...
Same. I wasn't sharing it to cancel Chuck Norris either. I'm making a point. You know, I'm showing these people what they're supporting. I feel like Steam should just allow people to play a game for 2 hours before requiring you to buy it, because that's the refund window anyways. If you spend money on a 1 to 2 hour game, you can refund it after, so how is that any different? Oh my god, they actually are crashing out about trying to refund the game. That's fucking funny. So I guess there's this tweet chain where Endymion was like, he posted this meme, why are you eating shit? It makes chuds like you mad. And Yara responded, it's always so funny that you people now say it's a shit game anyways as a cope. I've never said that. People in my chat were kind of chastising me for continuing to say that it was a game that I loved and it was a game that I thought played very well. I have not said a single bad thing about the game itself, because that would be like completely contrary to what I believe as far as the game goes. I think the devs have made a massive fucking mistake. I think they capitulated to cancel culture instead of being willing to have a conversation with me and my manager about the lies being spread about me, because there's no way you're going to link me the retweet of that femboy with the weird Nazi books that I didn't notice, and the tweet of the fucking body cam stills that were used to harass me for over a month, And then also a Vice article drops and uses both of those as sources, and you're going to tell me that that cancellation campaign had no effect, that you're going to try and tell me that nobody sent you those tweets and started making trouble for you behind the scenes. You're going to try and tell me that, oh, we just organically happened to notice this 1 millimeter wide Nazi swastika and didn't even want to talk to you about why it was retweeted. We're just dropping you outright. You want me to I wasn't born fucking yesterday. All right, I'm not a fucking retard, okay? Sadly, Endy makes us look retarded. I like Kirsche, she's misunderstood, but the game is not shit. And you're playing a game to make the chuds look mad is exactly the same thing the chuds do to own the libs. Bro lives in a glass house. I'll be getting into the game because they showed a certain level of integrity and backbone to not work with just anyone they could, but rather cared who they are and what they stood for. They partnered with me for over a year. I played the game for over 2 years. They didn't show integrity and backbone. They showed the absolute opposite of that because they knew who I was and they knew who my content was or what my content was. They've had in-depth conversations with me and they still chose to believe the lies and slander of random strangers sending them tweets instead of the partner that had been with them and helped them so much. That is the opposite of integrity and backbone. And the response to this, Nyara said, to be honest, I didn't know the game existed before Kirsche. Wow, so I'm still their best promotion. Probably not in the way she hoped, and I do love roguelikes and used to play Payday 2. That's mainly why I'm trying it. If I don't vibe with it, it's whatever. And then they made that refund tweet somewhere. That's funny. That's funny.
Protest against a game, boycott a game because it's connected to someone like Kirsche, who they believe some bigot. Wouldn't they be doing the same thing here? They're backing a game that is predicated on someone who's clearly anti-LGBT.
True.
And they are going to basically have to either be complete hypocrites and support the game, or they're going to have to back down and look very foolish. Yep. Now, of course, there's other reactions to this. This person makes a very good joke here saying, notice, due to their associations with homophobic voice actors whose views strongly conflict with my own, as well as lack of communication from the company on the issue, I have chosen to end my support with Crime Boss Game effective immediately. Thank you for your support. Now, this is a joke that is referring to a different post made by this VTuber who made the same construct here, cutting ties with GamerSupps, which is one of the brands that Kirsche works with, and that's a company that people have been hounding for weeks, if not months at this point, to drop her. They have not done so yet, and I'm glad they haven't done that because that'd be absolutely ridiculous and a very bad move for them. But a lot of people are attacking this post because it would be
a very bad move for them after Asmon literally just declared fatwa on any company that drops sponsors. He was just like, I will know if it happens, and I will make a video on you, and it will get over 1 million views.
1,000 likes, a lot of attention, and people think this is an act of virtue signaling. They won't even directly name Kirsche, even though it's extremely obvious who they're talking about, and that's their thing, right? Like, if they want to cut ties with this company, that's their decision. They can do whatever they want. Yep. But I see this as very performative, and I also think it sets up a very difficult standard for them to work with for the entirety of their career now.
100%.
They basically said if someone in the company has views that strongly conflict with their own, they have to leave unless the company makes some sort of an explanation. Well, good luck.
There have been a couple of people who have asked me, like, hey, Kirsche, wouldn't it make companies wary to work with you, seeing what happened with Crime Boss? And it's like, no. Because I have been very professional, and that's how I've been able to work with so many companies throughout my career, so intertwined with them, unlike very many creators. Even when I was tiny, I was able to get paying contracts from game companies. I understand how to be professional, and I have only been thanked by the people that I have worked with. I am an incredibly valuable asset to people, and especially, like, I can only even say that I'm a valuable asset to people because of the amount of support you guys show me. Not even financially, but the amount of people willing to spend time on me, willing to watch my streams, willing to chat in here, willing to be part of a community. You guys are the reason that I am a good asset to companies. So if you want to make fat stacks of cash because I believe in your product, you have nothing to worry about.
With that, because now every single time you work with a company, people can say, oh, this person who also works with the company has views that conflict with your own. Are you going to leave? I mean, even thinking about platforms, right? Both the people involved here, this VTuber and Kirsche, are both Twitch partners. Like, are you going to abandon that platform because they platform Kirsche, who has strongly different views than you? Yeah, I wouldn't want to be these people setting up these ridiculous high standards for themselves. Didn't
they also work with Tues for a plush, right? Like, are they going to have to disavow Tues, or is this simply performative because they could gain some traction and some updates on social media?
Largely rooted in performative virtue signaling. But there was another thing going on here pointed out by Kirsche. It seems like Steam is really trying to silence any supports of Kirsche in the related discussion boards. And you can see on Steam, it's a mess. If you scroll through their discussion page, it's a complete mess. Pretty much everything's just warring with one another. There's a lot of people angry at the game. There's a lot of people angry at Kirsche, and so on and so forth. But it seems that they're taking a side. Crime Boss is doubling down here. They are censoring the most popular threads that are supporting Kirsche. The most popular one was just simply her name, and it had a lot of support. They have since removed that. However, they removed that, but they're not removing negative posts about her, including this one that she's referencing, and we talked about earlier about the base game devs who stand on business by dropping an openly bigoted...
And he probably doesn't know this, right? Because, like, he's not me. But this is one of the people who has been spreading the lies and slander about me all over Twitter. This was somebody who was spreading slander, who didn't even buy the game when they had made this post. And the devs are keeping this post up, but deleted the threads with a lot of support for me.
White supremacist VTuber. Yeah, exactly. They keep this up, but they keep down a positive thread about her. And there's many more where that came from, but also you can see this one is locked, where someone is asking, can someone quote Kirsche being a Nazi? And this person provides the supposed proof, and this is like the best they got, where an example is Kirsche supporting Asmongold for saying that every trans kid is actually a victim of a parent with a mental illness. This is supposed to make someone a full-fledged Nazi that should be blacklisted, deplatformed, and lose all of their sponsorships and opportunities. This is all they got. This is the best they can bring to the table. But while we're looking at the discussion board here, here's another example of a recent post that's still up saying, imagine how much of
that is also the same Reddit post that links a source of me being a Nazi that someone in my community made a joke. The people slandering me have been calling me Ku Klux Kirsche. They've been trying to use that as a nickname for me because I guess they think it's funny or some shit. I mean, yeah, maybe. But people in my community were mocking them, and that Reddit post uses people in my community mocking them as Kirsche's unironic fan name is Ku Klux Kirsche. It's like, no. No, it's if you knew anything, you would know my fan name is Honorable Chatters, and it's based off of South African Parliament. What the fuck is wrong with you? How can anyone take that post seriously?
Human being you must be for the devs to not want to associate with you, knowing it would probably destroy their already small and niche community. Think about that. They would rather have their game be a complete failure than be anywhere related with you. LOL. I truly feel sorry for you. And to those anti-woke losers, the game was already dead before your precious weirdo advertised it. From 100 people to 400 people back to 100 people, log off. So this person's basically saying, you guys are a bunch of losers because this game always was bad and had no success. I don't really know if that's the route you want to go, but clearly Kirsche had a big impact on this game. It's undeniable. So many people have come forward and said, I only discovered this game because of her, and this person is fuming and saying, I stand by these devs who are literally blowing up their own game just to stand against her. These people act like these developers are some heroic set of people. No, they're the exact opposite, actually. They're cowards. They gave in to the mob. They listened to a bunch of freaks from Twitter. Like, I haven't even gotten into some of the related parties trying the hardest to cancel Kirsche, whether it's the articles or the tweets. These people are some of the weirdest, most obsessed, unhealthy people you will ever encounter. Like, literally, Arkham Asylum type behavior. Yes. Like, they need to be evaluated.
Just like
they're so off the rocker.
said.
They're so obsessed with Kirsche, of all people in the world, and they just won't let this go no matter what. And these developers gave in to these people who have no interest in their game, by the way. That's why they're cowardly. They gave in to a bunch of screechers from Twitter and places like Vice and Sportskeeda. These people do not deserve any respect or your time of day, but unfortunately for these developers, they did just that. They empowered them. They said, we're listening. Now, of course, this has backfired for Crime Boss. They've lost a ton of support. They probably just nuked their own game, and Kirsche's getting a ton of support from her fans, probably to a level she hasn't seen in her career, which is already a very successful one. But that's going to do this video, a little update on the situation from yesterday. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you for the update, Rev!